everyone, my name is Alpha. Welcome to plummysims and welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all doing well and having such a wonderful day. So today we are building in the world of Sulani, and this time we're building a honeymoon cottage, or like a 3 sets of honeymoon cottage, if that makes any sense. So anyway, today I am partnering with Modify in Cas. She's a builder from Turkey, and like a month ago or like 3 weeks ago, I don't know, but basically a few weeks ago we decided to do a collab together to build something in Sulani, and we came up with a lot of ideas. So her main idea is this kind of like a vacation rental build to spend your end of summer in Sulani, and I thought that it was such a really cool idea because if you've been here for quite some time, you probably noticed that I very rarely build in Sulani, but lately I've been building in Sulani for non-stop. So yeah, I think that shows how Sulani is growing on me. I think this is such a beautiful world. I just always build the same thing over and over, and I think this is such a perfect chance for me to kind of like build something that's not very Sulani vibe, traditional vibe, if that makes any sense. But at the end, I still really think that this is kind of has this Sulani vibe. But anyway, at first she showed me this like a traditional Sulani house that someone's made, and she wanted to build something like that, but I just feel like we need to build something that's very extraordinary. And I went on Pinterest as usual. Pinterest is my bestie, and I look up for a ton of like a beach cottage and villa or Bali-ness villa, because I'm from Indonesia and Bali is the only thing from Indonesia that people know. So I looked up for Bali-ness villa, and I found this image on Pinterest that shows this kind of like a very organic roofing villas with these curvy pools that look so good, and they somehow are in the middle of a jungle, if that makes sense. And I do love the vibe there, and I was kind of proposed to her that what if we build something like this or inspired by this image, and she agrees and she loves that idea. And we were kind of brainstorming on which lot we should work on, because we have a ton of beach lots in Sulani, and I showed her 2 options. So one of the like the in front of the beach area, if that makes sense, that you have this kind of like a half sand half water lot, 50 by 50 lot. I think that's the like oceanic paradise lot type, if that makes sense. So there is the other one, and the other one is the one that we chose. So this is a 50 by 50 lot in the shipwreck lot. We chose this because it has this more like jungly vibe. It has more land than water, which is a good thing because we decided to do a 3 cottages or 3 villas here, because when you decided to do this kind of like a rental situation and you inspired by something that you saw on Pinterest or wherever it is, especially for this type of like a rental build, I wanted to build not only for like a couple, if that makes sense. I tried to make it to fit as many sims as possible, and I don't know, I just imagine this to be a kind of like a suite villa, if that makes any sense. So you have these 3 different villas here, so the just call it the first, second, and third villa. So they all have their own like pond situation. They have this kind of like a lagoon situation over here with their own like exclusive bar and direct access to the beach, something like that. So that's basically the whole concept of my idea to kind of recreate this in game. I hope that makes sense. And to be honest, at first I said to her that it is possible to have this kind of like a round curvy pool situation, because I did save this room template from Marmalade. I will put the link to the Marmalade's gallery, the Sims 4 gallery, on the description box below in case you want to grab that out. It's just such a perfect template to create this kind of like a curvy pools, but I tried that like twice and it just doesn't look right, because I think the only reason why was this lot is way too small. And I couldn't believe I say this, but if I work on a 64 by 64 lot, I think it's more possible that way. But I love how organic this pond over here, and since we have this kind of like a revamp landscaping terrain tools with the patch before we got the cottage living, I could build this pond very easily, because we already knew that the old pond tool isn't the greatest. You have this kind of like, it's basically like a pool tool but her sister, if that makes sense. So anyway, I decided to just do with the pond. I just decided to do with the pond because I can create this kind of like a very organic lagoon shaped thing over here, and I just feel like this is so cool. I put a ton of this kind of a corals and also the shrubs on the like bottom part of the pond, and I think it gives such a nice touch. It's so cute. I love this build so much, and also we wanted this to be a vacation rental for the end of summer, because it depends on where you live, but on the northern hemisphere I think it will be autumn in a matter of, I don't know, a month I think. So fun facts, a few weeks ago I asked on my Twitter, when will autumn begin, because I live in a very tropical country. I live in Indonesia, so we don't have 4 seasons, and I know nothing about 4 seasons. The closest thing that I've experienced 4 seasons was when I visited Turkey a few years ago, and it was winter, so I went there on the New Year's Eve, and yeah, that's the closest thing that I've been to a 4 seasons country. And I was there for like, I don't know, like 10 days just for a vacation, so I know nothing about 4 seasons, especially when it's the beginning of autumn. And the answers are very interesting, because for some countries it will be around like 21st, 22nd or 23rd of September, but there are some countries that will get fall like earlier, like late August or early September, but there is other countries that will have autumn on November, like early November, which is, for me, it's very confusing, but I think it's such a fun way to learn something, because when I was very young, my teachers always taught me that each season will lasted for 3 months, like exactly 3 months. So like December, January and February will be winter, and then March, April, May will be like spring, and so on and so on. So I know it's not how it works like in real life. Maybe it used to be like that, I don't know. I've never experienced like being in a full 4 seasons country like ever. I hope I could experience that soon, but I don't know. But I think it's so interesting to knowing that, because I used to not know any of that. But anyway, let's just talk about the build. So we are now on the kind of like a reception area, quote unquote, on reception, because this isn't actually a reception, but I try to make it kind of like a welcome lounge. So when there's a kind of like a VVIP guest that spend their vacation here, they could be great on that lounge or that sitting space over there with the welcome drinks, and I don't know, like maybe welcome snacks, something like that. And as you can see, this lot has 3 or 4 buildings. So the first one is kind of this seating or reception area over here, and we also have 2 like regular shape cottage or villa or bungalow, whichever you call it, And then we have one of the diagonal one, which is crazy. It took me so long to work with the roofing. And also we have this kind of like a deck where you can suntan your sim set. And we also have this kind of like a bar area where you can, I don't know, maybe hang out with your partner or maybe meet some friends there, maybe, I don't know. So this lot provides a lot actually, but up until now I haven't seen what the interior will look like yet, because the interior isn't done yet, and I record this on August 17th. So it's very early, I know, but I have a lot of time at home because we're still in a pandemic and I'm basically going nowhere. Like I will be at home all of the time. So we also have this kind of like a swing set over here. We have this like a bonfire space on the very center of the lot, and we also have a wedding arch, which is really fun. So I imagine if there's I don't know, like maybe like an elder couple, they want to renew their marriage vow, I think that's such a beautiful story. And maybe you have your sims like they're engaged and they want to like make it official here because the view and maybe the, I don't know, maybe the time is perfect, or maybe they just want to like make it official like really fast before they go home. We have a ton of possibilities, but I just feel like to put a wedding arch there because it's just so cute. And we are now on the bar area on this build, and you have no idea, it took me forever to finish this build. I don't know why, because this is just an exterior only, and it took me about like more than 3 hours to do this whole thing. And if I do the interior too, it will take me, I don't know, like 5 hours I think, which is ridiculous. And this doesn't have that many details because typically I will put a ton of details like crazy because I just love detailing my builds. It's one of my favorite thing to do, I would say. And with this build, somehow it just very repetitive with the whole like cottages and the landscaping. I just basically like copy paste everything. And also I wanted to mention this, but if you feel like the camera is going like bouncing everywhere like crazy, that's because we have this kind of like a giant rocks on the side part of this lot, if that makes sense. So if you have get together, you know, there are 2 lots on Windenburg on the like downtown area, I would say the older part of the map, that has this kind of like a huge walls behind the lots, if that makes any sense. And whenever you kind of like move your camera to the back side of the build or the lot, you will have this kind of like a moving motion or jumping motion or bouncing motion from the camera. That's because there's this kind of like a big thing on the back of the lot, and this is the same case with that. And you have no idea how stressed I was when I was editing this, because it always stressed me out when I kind of like have this weird like bouncing camera motion. It's just so stressful. I mean, when I built this, it's no issue, but when I kind of like speed this up 5 times, it would be such a huge issue because the camera is moving so fast and somehow they make me dizzy. So if you notice that we move kind of like very suddenly here and there, that's because of the camera. And I just don't want to make you like kind of a dizzy or something with the like crazy bouncing motion. So yeah, that's the explanation of the whole bouncing thingy over there. So anyway, we are basically just putting on some terrain paints, and we'll be putting a ton of more landscaping here and there. I just love doing landscaping. I think I love doing exterior more than interior. Somehow it makes me really relaxing but stressful at the same time somehow. But anyway, I'm so tired right now because this is the 3rd time I record this voiceover. The first and the second one wasn't like fully finished. I cut that down when it was about 5 minutes because I don't know what story I should tell, because this is not very exciting. And this build looks huge, but that's because we have 3 different buildings and those 3 are basically the same thing. and we didn't furnish it at all. So I was kind of very stressed why I have to do this over and over. I mean the voiceover, not the building part. I do love building, and I have to record for the third times right now, but I think we're good now, because I list every single thing that I want to talk about on my book. So yeah, that's the behind the scene of this speed build. I don't know, but anyway, we are basically finishing up the kind of like lounge or seating space over here, and I thought that I will be needing my cottage, not my cottage living, what is that, my eco lifestyle, but somehow I didn't use any of that pack because she doesn't have that, and I just don't want to use something that she doesn't have, so I use every pack that she has. And also, if you download this book, you may notice how weird the gallery thumbnail is, because what you will see is a giant rock. I know that's ridiculous, but I didn't make that up. It's by default on the gallery. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we are now getting closer to the end of the speed build. So if you want to download this build, this has been up on the Modify in Cass's gallery. I will put every single link in the description box below on my Ko-fi page, so you don't have too many links on the description box below, and also with the tray files. So yeah, I think that is it. I really hope you did enjoy this video, and if you do, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Also make sure to be subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to, you could also ring the bell so you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video. And please say hi to Modify in Cass. I will put every single information of their socials in the description box below. And I want to thank her for having a collab together with me. It was such a great pleasure. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this voiceover right now. Thank you so much for joining me today and supporting my channel. Enjoy the rest of the screenshots, and I'll see you in the next video.